Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me on this episode that you have all been waiting for. But before we get started, I want to talk to you guys about a really great product from Scentbird. Now, Scentbird is a fragrance subscription service, and you guys know me if you've been watching this channel for a very long time. And I love buying different colognes, but I don't generally like to buy the big ass bottles that last you like 10 years. I love a variety, and that's why Scentbird is so good. I was so excited when I got the sponsorship because I love Scentbird. Now, they sent me a few things. So what they do is they send you the card of the colognes that they're going to give you. And I'm not going to show you the product yet because it's super cool. But I got Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. I got Mankind Rise. And I got Parfum de Marly Paris Percival. I'm sorry about my French. But this is what I have to show you. They come in these amazing little bottles that have these locks on them, right? So that is unlocked now. And the nozzle is actually the lock mechanism as well. So the spray comes out of here. It's really cool because you just open it up and it's a magnetic carrying case. It's all magnets, very easy to use. And there it is. That's the cologne inside the bottle. A very nice size bottle for someone like me who doesn't wear cologne every day, but a few days a week. This will last me months and months and months. Throw it in like that, and then you click it on like this. And it's a magnet, and it's so sexy. So here's what you do. So you get your card that it came in. You unlock your spray by turning the nozzle and you spray your card. You let it ride on that paper for a little while. Oh my God. So Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue is, oh my God. It smells amazing. Yes. And they come in these nice little packages too, these little bags that are drawstring. And then so here's the gray one. Very cool. Again, open it up like this, magnet. Lock, unlock, and that's the nozzle. So let's spray this one. And and a quick pro tip: if you're trying these colognes that they send you, because I think they're monthly, or you can choose which one you want to get. But you basically sniff coffee in between, so you get a fresh smell. That is good too. That's light blue, and they get this nice, beautiful white one here. Again, open it up. See inside. This one is Parfum de Marly from Paris. This one has bergamot, mandarin, pink pepper, lavender, and geranium. That's nice. Okay, but the one so far of the three, they're all amazing. But Mankind is mandarin, eucalyptus, cypress, and fresh ginger with sandalwood. It is bomb diggity fresh. So there you go. You got your cards, amazing colognes from Scentbird. So here's the deal. Scentbird's gonna let you try an amazing designer fragrance once a month for $17 a month. Now I'm telling you, that is an amazing deal because you're getting the legit colognes. Now, if you go to a mall and you're like, oh, can I have a sample? Then it's hard. You feel silly, right? And you can either buy a small bottle, which is $200, or a big bottle, it's like $500. This is why I love Scentbird, because you can get a multitude of scents that you love, and you know, if you like it, you can get a big bottle if you want. They carry Prada, Gucci, Versace. You're gonna smell like $1 million. And so here's the deal for watching me spray delicious colognes, okay? Use code DAD55. I'm telling you, you get 55% off. So that means it's a little over $7 for your first order. Now, a lot of you are ladies, all of you, mostly all of you. And so this is a perfect gift to get your husband. Okay? A lot of guys don't, understand smelling good. And maybe you want to just give him a subtle hint. Perfect for a stocking stuffer. And every month he's going to get a new one in the mail. This is an amazing gift to get your husband. Remember, I talk about gifts for your husband. This is probably one of the top gifts you can get for your husband. Thanks to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. Your guys' product is amazing. It's incredible. Check out the links below. Make sure you order it today. Let's get to this crazy video. Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name is Josh. You are here for the Dougherty Dozen expose video I've been promising you. Now, I have been on the phone with a bunch of people for a little while trying to get this thing straight. And there's so much information and it goes so much deeper than I thought. So this is going to be like part one of a lot of exposés that are going to come forward, because Alicia is not who she says she is. And it's kind of something I've been saying on this channel all along. When I hear from my anonymous sources, Josh, I've been watching your videos and you are dead right about everything you're saying. Makes me feel kind of good. So today we're going to uncover some things you likely thought about, maybe knew about, but we're going to dig into a little deeper. And don't forget, everybody, yes, everything in this video is alleged, and I'll tell you why after this intro. So yes, this video is completely all going to be alleged. This is all from anonymous sources who do not want to be named and will not be named. I will never give up my anonymous sources. Those people trust me with this information. They bring it to me, but don't forget, and I'll probably repeat this throughout this video, they are scared of Alicia, okay? Yes, and those eyebrows. They're scared of her. For good reason. Now that I'm uncovering a lot of things, they have a right to be fearful. Okay? It's crazy that as many people I've talked to, the same thing keeps happening. The same thing. I'm scared that she's going to do something if she finds out who I am. That is bananas. Okay? So what it also tells you, this woman is not innocent or like aloof or anything that you say. When I tell you that Alicia is calculated, it is absolutely true. Okay? And we're going to get to it, I promise, in a second. So that's why I have to, say this video. Everything past this point, and I'll probably keep saying allegedly, is alleged. Okay? So you can believe it or not, right? I don't think I've ever given anybody any reason not to trust me. I try my best to bring forward information from my sources. You do not have to believe me. You do not have to believe my sources. You can believe Alicia. Take with this information what you want. If you believe it, you believe it. If you don't, you don't. I can't convince you otherwise. But I happen to believe my anonymous sources because of messages that I've seen. I just can't show them because I want to honor their requests. So I do need to say that at the beginning of this video. I want to be fair. So let's start at the beginning. Alicia Dougherty is 42 years old. She's the same age as I am. When I first came after Dougherty Dozen because of the exploitation, I just assumed she was aloof and just dumb and, just stumbled upon this fame by accident, right? And then found out a little algorithm just kind of took advantage of it. Now, one of those things is true. She got lucky because her shit's terrible. But she's very calculated. And she's been trying to do this for something like 12. And here's how I know, because there's a blog called Yaya Stuff. Okay, Yaya Stuff, and I can't even started. I don't know how old it is because it's on Wayback Machine, and not every page from this blog exists, but some do. This one is from 2009. This woman has been talking about this stuff for years. Almost 15 years, this woman has been trying to become an influence mom or famous person, whatever. It has been years and years and years. Okay, so of course you know this is her because this is Comic Sans. So I haven't gone really through it intensely yet. Now, I'm not going to be doing a deep dive into every single one of these things on this video. I just want to show you what I know because I will be doing deep dives into her blogs. I've got two people right now literally going through over 1,250 videos, writing down notes of every single video, okay, and what's important. I got one of these people already messaging me after watching for 23 minutes and is saying this is the craziest thing she's ever seen. Now, Alicia has got some stuff that has already been deleted that we're probably never going to see because she has so much content on the internet. It's actually mind-blowing. So she's been trying to get famous for 15 years. And what happened a couple of years ago, TikTok took over and it was really easy to get monetized on TikTok. And it was really easy to get big on TikTok if you exploit your children. Today, to this day, it still is. The good thing about TikTok is that you don't make a ton of money on it. The bad thing about TikTok is that people like me who call out those people, we get booted off instantly. That's also going to come up later that you can use TikTok if you've got some crazy fans to just mass report. You can get rid of any account on TikTok. Any account. So I might even tell you guys, if you want to mass report, but you can only mass report small channels who are doing it, right? If you go mass report a channel with 8 million subscribers or 5 million subscribers like Maya Knight or Dougherty Dozen, they don't give a shit about you. They only care about their big creators. Creators bring money. TikTok is owned by China, don't forget, okay? China, and they're infiltrating the US and Canada with data mining unlike anything you've ever seen. If the Republicans come into power, which looks like it's going to happen, I honestly believe TikTok will be banned, and it will literally, it should be, is what I'm saying. Even Elon Musk is saying, hey, I'll bring back, what's it called? Vine or whatever. It's got to be something. So TikTok is a poisonous cesspool of toxic shit. But if you're a family vlogger, you can get really big really fast and then grow all your other platforms. So usually I will never go to their channels and watch their shit, but I have to show you this stuff, okay? 5.2 million followers, 233 million likes, average 80, she's following 8,561 people, okay? Foster, adopt family of 14 in New York. Now there's no fostering. She doesn't foster. So she's a liar right there, okay? Because if she did foster, and maybe she has in the past, she can't put them on television, right? So that's a lie. And then she's obviously got an email from Sun and Sky Entertainment, which is going to come up pretty soon. So just as a preemptive, that's a thing. She's been trying for this for 15 years, got lucky on TikTok, grew over on YouTube because YouTube was pushing their shorts and still are. If you do a short on YouTube, they'll put you in the algorithm before they put a big video in. They want to compete with TikTok. And so, you know, good. Put your shorts on YouTube. Don't go to TikTok. TikTok's a savage wasteland. Don't do it, okay? So over here on YouTube, they will protect creators like me so I can call her out, but I can't do it on TikTok. I'll get kicked off right away. So all that to say is that now you've set the scene. Alicia, and there are text messages of her in group chats with other family creators saying, all I do all day long is try to figure out the algorithm for what's this week and next week and all that stuff. She spends so much time doing this, and it has been 15 years. And so what hit for her? It was the exploitation of fostering and adopting. That's what hit for her. Because she's not some supermodel, nothing like that. She's just a normal mom from New York City, but that's what hit, and that's what grew her channel. Maya Knight. Anybody with twins on TikTok, anybody having babies on TikTok grows massively. The exploitation of children is a multi-billion-dollar industry, which is why social media platforms refuse to do anything about it, because they make billions, okay? So, all right, let's get to the next point. Every single person that has worked with, collaborated with, or worked for the Dougherty Dozen, Alicia in general, has burned their bridge, has cut ties, and is absolutely scared of her. Every single person except two. In my research and my messaging, there are over 8 creators, specific creators in the same vein as Dougherty Dozen, that if someone maybe been connected or residually been in her circumference, want nothing to do with her. They're actually scared of her. But some still keep her in their circles because they are so scared of what she will do to them if she figures out that they're not supporters anymore. So some of the people that I've spoken to are still in her circles. She has no idea they're talking about her. She probably thinks it's one of her enemies or something, but it's not. These people are still in her circle because, again, not because they're, trying to be like spies for me or anything, but because they are so scared of what she will do to their content or their channels that they just keep your enemies closer. That's basically what it is. Now, why are these creators scared? I've asked a couple of the creators that I've spoken to, just basically, tell me why you're so damn scared of this person with this forehead. Okay. And it's because on TikTok specifically, a lot of these people grow their channels there. She can mobilize her fans for some reason and has a way of doing it that she can have your channel mass reported. And I've got a couple of these creators who said after they had a fallout with her, even privately, their channels took a shit and a huge nosedive because she allegedly mobilized people after it. She has also threatened people. I know that people specifically have text messages, and I have said, well, are you willing to share those text messages if shit hits the fan? If she comes out and says you're all liars. And yes, they are. There are text messages of threats and messages of threats from Alicia to other creators. She's not this sweet little old lady in New York City. She's a straight snake, okay? She will stop at nothing to be the number one person. She's told everybody, she's done videos about this, where she will do a video where she says something like, you're not going to take me down. I'm going to be the number one. She thinks she's literally doing some of this stuff to spite people that have left her and doesn't want to be a part of her anymore. She is all about the drama, okay? Even if you don't see her in a channel, she hides it pretty well. But there are some things out in the open which I'm looking for. I've got many people searching for. But she has done this. She will snidely make remarks about these other people in her content. She is not innocent, everybody. She is a snake, and she will do anything to get to the top. It doesn't matter how in danger her children are. It doesn't matter. Whatever will help her get to the top, she will do that. If that means she has to take advantage of other creators, like people have done with me, right? She'll use them to prop herself up. This world of YouTube can be really, really scary, especially if you got people out there just out for themselves. Okay, this is why I closed my circles off. I don't work with anybody on YouTube anymore. I've got a few people that I talk to and I've always talked to that have my back and I have their back, but that is it. My circles are closed. So let's talk about her being calculated. Now, one of the things that my sources said to me was that when you mentioned her being calculated in the last couple of videos, that's just like exactly what I was thinking. They're saying what you're saying is 100% who she is. Like she'll do things like make a ketchup sandwich or put these little trackers in her lunch pails recently, which is probably a sponsored video, or wear a one sock or have her husband swear, right? And leave that in the video. She does everything that you see completely on purpose. Everything. So the exorbitant shopping trips on purpose. She doesn't need to do that. Again, they don't even eat it. And then we've got proof of them not eating. We'll go to the Reddit site right now. I should have brought this up already, but here we go. So here it is. I don't know. I'll try to zoom in on this for you to see. So here it is basically. To add to the Panera lunch. So this is what happened. More recently, she talked about making her kids these huge, she made them breakfast. She made them grilled cheeses and stuff like that. She makes these lunches that these kids don't even eat. And we all know it, right? Because then she'll talk about how she like buys her kids lunches one day and it's like hundreds of dollars. Or in this case, she bought her kids Panera bread for lunch, even though after she already made them lunch, right? So it says here, to add to the Panera lunch, you can see in the background that the breakfast she made was barely eaten. It's already 10 a.m., so most of the kids are already in school. And as you can see there, none of it's eaten actually. Alicia makes this food and her kids don't eat it. They don't eat it at all. They don't eat the lunches that she makes. Nothing. They do not, especially the high school kids. They probably buy their lunch, right? They probably have, credit cards and shit. They can go and all that stuff. She doesn't eat it. And well, that picture's okay. Jump scare warning. But basically we've seen that before. We've seen the spaghetti table. They had like 2 bites out of it. She showed 2 kids eating it, but they probably didn't even eat it. Panned over. It's all still there. She threw 60 pounds of spaghetti in the garbage. She bought like hundreds of dollars worth of Wendy's. You look over, it's all still there. All the, the pretzels that she bought, all still there. They don't eat the food that she makes. She makes that food, the lunches, so she can say, hey, look at these lunch pails we got. Or look at these trackers I'm putting on the lunch pails. It's all for show, okay? It's all calculated. These kids are not eating the bullshit that she feeds them. That's such a lie. I have 4 kids, okay? Do you know how varied their lunches are? Because none of them, you're telling me that 12 kids eat the exact same bullshit every single day? I don't believe you. They're not all eating grilled cheeses that look like skulls, okay? She's lying to you. It's calculated. It's what social media is. Almost every family vlogger out there that you see on this channel, all of it is bullshit. And I've been saying that since the beginning. It is all a lie pretending to be something that they're not, so the advertisers want to give them money to advertise because people think it's real. And then you get her fans saying like, it's 20 seconds of her life. You don't know anything. Stop being so stupid, you morons. Okay? You're stupid and I hate you. I hate mushrooms. Okay? So that was one of the things that really, really stood out to my sources is that, and she said it to the sources. She would say things like, I left that in there because I want them to rewatch it and say, what is that? Wow, you spent $15,000 on Christmas? You crazy? She does all the spending and all the things she does, not because she's like, I love my children, but because she knows people are going to talk about it. She knows she's going to get the hate for it. She wants it. So here it comes. You deserve it. Because it does give her a short-term gain, which makes her tons and tons and tons of money. But for she's not sustainable on this platform like this, okay? Because it all comes out eventually like this video. Now we got to kind of pivot into where she kind of makes her money, right? It's a big, important thing. Now I talked to a couple of my sources and other sources who have big channels on TikTok, right? We're talking millions. You don't make a lot of money on TikTok. You don't. You get ad sponsorships like, you can do ad reads for lunch pails or, Scentbird or, whatever, right? Like 360, all these kinds of things, right? TikTok is used as a platform growth for all your other platforms where you make money. Because Instagram, you make a ton of cash. Okay. YouTube, you make the most amount of cash. Tons of cash on YouTube. Probably the most of all the platforms. Okay. YouTube takes a pretty big cut too. So I estimated she's making upwards of $300,000 just on YouTube. Nothing to do with Instagram, nothing to do with TikTok, Facebook, none of it. And she has all the platforms, every single one of them. And so another way you get that money is through AdSense on YouTube. You watch her ads, she gets paid for that. And you get paid quite a bit. But if any family vlogger you've ever talked to in the past, they'll say that the AdSense is literally a percentage of what they actually bring in. It's the ad revenue from the ad reads that you get the biggest money for. So she's doing something on trackers for the lunch pails, or she's doing a Walmart or Walgreens or whatever, or she's doing White Claw. If she gets paid for any of those sponsorships, those are in the tens and tens of thousands of dollars. I do ad reads like today on Scentbird, okay? I'm a small channel. I don't get a lot. But if she's 100 times bigger than me, she probably gets paid 100 times more than I get paid, right? Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that they get paid for those sponsorships as well. One of those sponsorships is Life 360. Now, this is kind of a big topic where we're going to bookmark this thing and talk about this a lot. The Life 360 app is an app made for tracking children. You can track their driving, you can track where they are, you can track what they're doing online. It's meant to keep your children safe, right? Advocates out there who are good in this technology world tell you, though, it's not as safe as it sounds. Right? It's probably really easily hackable and all those kinds of things. We also know that she uses cameras and shit in her bedroom that are hackable. Life 360 is not all it's cracked out to be if you believe what the other people say, okay? But whatever, okay? Life 360 is one of the most popular kid tracking apps that exists. But where it gets crazy is where Life 360 turns into this thing called Parenting 360. And this girl named Samantha And this specifically is an account called Monwano102, okay? And it's Samantha Housden. It's Samantha Housden. Okay. She's also represented here. As you can tell, there's a connection. I just want to make sure you see that connection. Sun and Sky Entertainment, okay? Because we're going to talk about Sun and Sky Entertainment right after this. So Samantha was approached by, this is alleged. This is all we know, and this is alleged. So make sure, this might be wrong, but I trust my sources. Samantha was approached by Life360 to start a Parenting 360 group. Basically a TikTok channel, social media channel that talks about basically targets parents to say, hey, use this app. And they'll use family vloggers who exploit their children who have big followings in that field to leverage their followers to go buy the 360 app. It's probably highly successful, by the way, because they get paid a lot of money to do it. So Samantha starts this thing and gets it going and gets connected with Alicia. So Samantha started it, but Alicia now does everything that Samantha did. Now that's the Tarantino. Let's go back to the beginning. So Samantha started the page, started growing. She connected with Alicia, and her and Alicia became tight, right? And I think to this day are still connected. But allegedly also, Samantha was apparently let go or told to resign or whatever the case may be from Life360 or Parenting 360 because of racist and homophobic remarks that she had made. She, though, and I have to say this, says that she just left for mental health. But again, my sources have information that if it ever had to come out, will probably prove that to be true, that she was making remarks that made her she's also a very, 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 very not liked person amongst the community that I've been talking to. Very much hated. And Alicia became the replacement for her on Parenting 360. Now Alicia takes over. And one of the things that really pissed a lot of these people off was that they were all making money from this Parenting 360 thing for Life360. But Alicia comes in and starts changing everything and taking all the money. So they were telling these creators, we can't pay you because we're short, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Alicia's making over $20,000 a month from Parenting 360 to gather other creators and pay them small amounts of money to do videos that she can share on the Parenting 360. To this day, Alicia is still running Parenting 360. Okay, that's the job that she tells you that she has. But it's basically a long-term sponsorship deal with Life360 where she makes a big shit ton of cash leveraging her platform to leverage smaller creators and bigger creators to come on and do this. Now that's a big deal because these people were making money on this, and Alicia comes along and basically says, F you, I'm taking the money, allegedly. And here's a secondary source that said this, because I had called all my sources and said, hey, what do you think of this? And this is what they said. When the shift happened, Samantha left and Alicia came in. At that point, Alicia had burned so many bridges that a lot of the creators just up and left. They're like, I do not want to be a part of this if she's running it. That should tell you something. And then there were those who were dropped because Alicia didn't like them. So this is a mean girls thing. Alicia has it out for a lot of people who don't like her. She's burned every bridge. And if you decide that you want to go against her, kind of like Tiffany Raquel style thing going on here, okay? If you don't know anything about Tiffany Raquel, go take a look at my Tiffany Raquel video. She thinks she's like the madam of like family vloggers right now because she's kind of she's rising to the top. She's probably one of the number one. And so what she does, if you cross her, and she has made threats before, she dropped a bunch of these accounts and said, we don't want you anymore. So she came into power and chose to take that moment of power to like kick people off the Parenting 360 app and say, F you. So use that power to be a complete asshole to people. And not only were they enemies of Alicia, they were enemies of Samantha, which means that Samantha was likely and still is possibly likely pulling Alicia's strings. Something tells me, and I could be wrong, that Samantha knows something about Alicia. Alicia doesn't want anybody knowing. Samantha might know a lot more than anybody else, right? And probably vice versa. Because Alicia overshared way early in the game and didn't realize that people aren't going to like you later on and shouldn't have. In this game of YouTube, if you decide you want to get on this game of YouTube, okay, take it from me really early. Trust nobody, okay? Trust nobody. There's a shiny clown out there that makes videos about me all the time, okay? We used to be friends. I used to have her back. I used to support her a lot, okay? And then when she realized she could make money off my channel, she decided that was what was more important to her, and that's fine. But all it did was serve, and I'm glad it happened. All it does is serve to tell you, do not trust anybody in this platform. They're all out. It's just like, it's savagery behind the scenes here, okay? So, but Alicia didn't realize that, and thank God she didn't, because now we have all these whistleblowers. And so when all this was going down, Alicia came in, a lot of them left because they didn't want to be connected to her, and then she kicked off a bunch because she's like, F you. She then had to plead to all the other creators to stay on because they're all opening up their own private DMs and saying, don't work with her, she's crazy and all this stuff. And she had to plead her case to a bunch. A couple stayed, a couple more left. So it's just been a giant gong show to start. And if you go to Parenting 360, it's still kind of pretty big. So I think though, for all this exposure and stuff, I'm hoping that Parenting 360 takes it back, you know what? You have a responsibility to not use exploited children in advertisements, because one of the things you're not supposed to do is sign kids to these things. You can't sign a kid to a contract, right? I think one of the things one of my sources said is that they couldn't have their kids in the videos because they couldn't be signed to contracts because they weren't 18. But Alicia has a lot of her kids in the Parenting 360 stuff. So now that Alicia runs it, she changes all the rules. And it's probably not very legal. Another thing my sources said that Alicia does is that she creates private accounts. After she's blocked you or you've blocked her, she has a ton of private stock accounts so she can watch your show, right? She can watch all your shit. And some of my sources have even said that Alicia has told people, yeah, I go into their live chats because I want to see what they're talking about. I want to see. And she's always got her nose in other people's business. And this is a mom of 12 who's supposed to be like, I'm a great mom who takes care of her kids. No. She has Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook. She's got every single major platform and she's active on all of them. Just that alone, not even filming anything or editing, just that alone, if you are on social media and you know what it's like, takes the lion's share of all of your time. So there's just no possible way she has time to also parent her children. And I've said that from the beginning. Again, this is all corroborated by multiple creators who said, yeah, she told me that she spies on these other people, trying to flex that she's like, look at me, I know everything. And again, this isn't like a long time ago. This happened less than a year ago, February 2022, when all this shit went down. So if you go back into her content around February, look for how her demeanor is. Because she was going through the shit. But she came out on top, making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars from this platform. And then as of June, the transition was kind of complete. She made her case to enough people to keep the thing alive. And as of June of this year, like a few months ago, she fully took over Parenting 360. The thing about this is that it was a platform for a lot of people to make a lot of money and talk about this app. And as soon as she stepped in with her toxic, disgusting bullshit, the thing pretty much almost 50% of the creators were gone. And if Alex and Deshawn are in the videos with Parenting 360 with a bunch of the other kids, did they sign contracts? And if so, how? Apparently in November, she had done a video, and I'm looking for it right now, where she said, you're not going to beat me. Now, a couple of creators didn't know who she was really talking about. They were all scared they're talking about them, right? And she did this as a snide remark to the people that were like, I don't want to work with you because you're absolutely crazy. Remember, don't forget, every single time I say this, these creators are absolutely scared of Alicia because of the things that have happened to their account because she threatened it. Okay? Allegedly. I have to say allegedly there. But after she did that video, and I'll find it, she went on a blocking spree and blocked almost all these creators. Let's get back to Monwan00. Okay, so basically I'm going to do a deep dive into her as well because apparently this shit gets really, really crazy. So Monwan, Samantha Housden, is married to a police officer, and apparently she married this police officer, I think after 4 months. I could be wrong about that, because she wants this like protection of having a police officer. Like, who else has that, right? Alicia with her brother-in-law. Okay. So apparently there's been some rumors of like trafficking and everything going on with this woman, like insanity. I have not got to the bottom of it. I don't want to give out too much information until I can have the whole story, but there's a lot of people calling her out. And if it's true that she had homophobic and racist comments and she got kicked out because of that, that's going to come to light eventually too. So basically what you need to know is this woman has become a pariah amongst creators, just like Alicia has. She's still making content, but she used to have over 3 million subscribers on TikTok, and now she's down to 2.9. Still pretty good. But people are starting to wake up, and I will do a complete deep dive into Samantha Housden. I absolutely will, because you need to know that she's connected to this person, and that she is probably not only connected, probably really close, either knows something about her or Samantha knows something about Alicia. They're probably enemies, closer type of people. And so she has continued to be a part of this, even if she's away from Parenting 360, by using Alicia allegedly to kick off the people that didn't like Samantha. So I know this gets a little bit like, reality television crazy, but based on what my sources have told me, this is what's going on. This is crazy. And it's all coming to light because you grow big and you do it wrong, right? There are a lot of creators that grew big and they were just nice people and they deserve their platforms. But if you grow big by stepping on other people and being a toxic asshole, you're not gonna last on this platform. Okay, so the reason I talk about Samantha and I'm gonna do a deep dive into that is because she's connected to Sun and Sky Entertainment like Alicia is. Now, Sun and Sky Entertainment is a big deal because this shit gets crazy right here. Now, specifically for this video, I downloaded Truth Finder and paid the fee, okay? Because it's really important that you understand who this guy, Gene Bortnick, is. Gene Bortnick is 52 years old, and he's the manager, I think, and owner of Sun and Sky Entertainment. And that's what he looks like. These are literally the only pictures, and it's only one's blown up, but these are the only images that exist, basically, not the only, but there like very, 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 very few images of Gene Bortnick exist on the internet. And that's very, very much on purpose. So Gene Bortnick is a talent manager, producer, influencer manager of Sun and Sky Entertainment. His son is a piano genius, I think, and failed star. I don't know what I should call it. This guy's, again, like Alicia, been trying to achieve fame for so many years, and just, he's always behind the scenes type of guy. Now, it's important you understand about this guy because he is connected to Alicia in a very, very, very deep contract, okay? The creators used to be connected to this guy. The creators that I've talked to. Not all of them, but some of them, okay? Were connected to this. And they were connected in such shitty contracts because Alicia connected them and said, you need to sign with this guy. And so did Samantha. So Samantha and Alicia were pushing all these creators who were coming into Parenting 360 to sign with him, right? And so they probably got a kickback from him for signing them. And you should see this contract, okay? Basically, I can't show it to you, but basically the gist of the contract is 3 years minimum at 20%. Now hear that for a second. It's a lot of money, specifically if it's just Alicia. Let's just take Alicia for a second. 20% of $1 million is $200,000. Yeah, right? Yeah. Not only that, but for those 3 years, every piece of content you've created and any long-term relationship you've developed that pays you outside of that, he gets 20% for life. Okay? Now some people are like, whatever, maybe he helps her get a lot of money. Maybe he does. Right? But that's not just him. That's Samantha, who has millions of subscribers. That's a ton of other creators he signed. He's got a lot of creators that he signed. But these creators started realizing, oh my God, when they started digging into who this guy really is, they're like, oh shit, here we go. So anyway, I'm going down this thing, looking at who his connections are and blah, blah, blah. And you look at it all over and all that stuff. But if you go to criminal and traffic, right? Odd that our extensive public record search did not uncover arrest, criminal, or traffic records for Gene Bortnick. Now that's real weird, because how much would it cost you to get your shit taken off a site like this that I pay for, by the way? And I don't like that I have to pay for a site that can be scrubbed. Don't like it because that's shitty. But here's what happened with Gene Bortnick. Are you ready? Buckle up your effing seatbelts. Gene Bortnick. Now this is from an FBI list of like financial scams and schemes that happened, and they presented it to the president, and Gene Bortnick showed up in this file, okay? MGL Corporation. Gene Bortnick, president of MGL Corporation and Loriana Stores, Inc., is charged with falsifying corporate financial records to defraud corporate lenders of $22 million. The indictment charges Mr. Bortnick with using false inventory records to obtain millions in financing, and upon collapse of his companies, diverting funds and assets to new corporations as well as to his own use. He has been charged with wire fraud, bankruptcy fraud, and money laundering as a result of the FBI investigation. His trial has not been scheduled. This was a while ago. The trial was scheduled. The trial did go on. Let's continue. Here is the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. United States versus Bortnick. Okay? And now on this 29th day of November, one day before my birthday, I was turning 24 there. Presently before the court is motion to dismiss count 1, 20, 21, duplicitous, filed by defendant Gene Bortnick. Basically, they're saying at the outset, the court notes that blah, blah, blah. So they're saying they want this dismissed. So this is what you always do. And this is what Tiffany Ruckel did of her. So there's going to be an update on Tiffany. She tried to have it out. Nope. Anyway, this is what you do. The court, he's like, I wanted to have this all thrown out. So here's what happens. The court does not believe that the counts 21 and 22 are improper. It is sensitive to the possible prejudice that could result from the indictment as it currently written. However, the court believes that an appropriate worded jury instruction will cure any potential prejudice. Basically, they're trying to do wordsmithing to say, oh yeah, it'll be prejudice against him. Okay, whatever. This guy stole $22 million. And then it says, the court will rule an appropriate jury instruction. So basically, they said, you're going to court. Basically, we're not overturning this, right? And then you get up here to the United States District Court, again, plaintiff versus defendant, and this is the criminal action. So on February 15th, the court sentenced the defendant to 7 days in custody. So he's found guilty. Sorry, long story short. I'll get into a deep dive about this guy as well. Long story short, he was found guilty and sentenced to 7 days in custody. Whoa, 7 days. Money crimes, right? Rich people. Followed by 5 years of supervised release. And this was in 2006. So he was done as supervised release by 2011. Defendant was ordered to pay restitution in the amount of $7,283,000, a punitive fine of $1 million, and a special assessment of $2,600. Although the court has set forth the rationale for its decision on the record, this memorandum will provide more thorough explanation of the court's reasoning. Okay. Defendant was the president and 25% owner of 3 companies, MGL Loriana and MGL Corporation. Through these businesses, defendant produced and sold ladies' professional apparel. In September 98, defendant secured $13 million in asset-based financing from Congress Financial Corporation with the intent to use the line of credit to aggressively expand the business. Under the loan agreement, the defendant was required to periodically report to Congress the inventory held by his 3 companies that was eligible to serve as a basis for the loan. In order to satisfy the reporting requirements, defendant submitted inventory certification reports, which detailed the total amount of inventory by the borrowing companies given period. Defendant deliberately overstated the amount of inventory held by his companies on the 17 IRC, so he's just lying to have the money. After a 4-week trial and week of deliberations, the jury convicted defendant of 1 count of bank fraud and 17 counts of wire fraud in violation of 18 USC. 2 counts, 2 through 18, and 2 counts of money laundering. In addition, the jury found defendant guilty of 1 count of transferring or concealing property in anticipation of bankruptcy. So he knew he was going to have to clean bucks, so he hid shit and hid money. This guy is a crook. 100% straight up crook. I don't have to say allegedly. The proof's right here. They're basically just saying we only gave him a small sentence because we want him to pay back the people he ripped off. Can't do it while he's in jail. I can read this whole thing forever. It's going to be another video. So the conclusion, defendant is sentenced to 7 days in custody, followed by 5 years supervised release. Defendant is ordered to pay blah, blah, blah. We already said at the beginning. So he went to jail. And this guy is now, I don't know if he can travel or not. I don't know if he's still whatever. But that's what happened. This is who Alicia is connected to. Now, the issue that really got me was he owns these companies, right? So as of June 17, 2010, he lights up Sun and Sky Entertainment. He gets this business going. This is right before his 5-year thing is done, okay? And there's a couple of ways we can look at this, right? He starts Sun and Sky Entertainment. He makes a ton of money doing this, okay? Because clearly, Alicia makes a ton of money. He takes 20% of her money, all of it. All of it. It's a lot of money to give to somebody, specifically a crook. So Alicia and her children are now responsible for paying this guy's debt to society. Did Alicia do any research on the criminal that she was connecting with? Or was it Samantha that sucked her in and then had her suck other people into this guy? Right? These people wanted out of this thing because they found out who he was. And they eventually did get out. They're not allowed to talk about it, right? As soon as you get out, you sign an NDA. NDAs can kiss my ass. They're crazy what you can do if you have money. Sign this NDA. You get out of your contract. So they're not allowed to talk about it. But here's the other thing. How is this guy making money and living off the lamb if he owes over $8 million, right? So someone said, I don't know who it was, his mother owns this company. His mother. But it does say that he is the talent manager, producer, influencer manager. It says here he was the president and COO in 2014, okay? So something happened. Did he not pay back his debt because he was only making, I don't know, $60,000 a year from the company that his mother owns? Interesting, right? The government will take a cut of your money no matter what if you owe it. But if you only make 60 grand, they can only take a certain amount. You got to feed your family, right? So does this guy's mother own this company? Because look at here, January 11th, it pops up. This year, all of a sudden, he's the talent manager, producer, influencer manager. Did something happen where he got caught and he's like, oh no, I'm not this president and CEO anymore. I'm the talent manager. I only take a small salary. Now, this is all alleged. I don't know. I'm sure it'll come out eventually. But this guy owes $8 million and is a criminal. Now, here's the friggin' rub. Now, this is alleged, but I'm almost 100% certain that every single child in the Dougherty Dozen family is connected to a similar contract to Jean Bortnick. Maybe with the exception of Nevaeh and Deshawn. But they've been there for a little while, so maybe they're on contract now. So hear me out for a second. These kids who cannot give informed consent to be on this channel, who are bullied, who are relentlessly used for money by Jean Bortnick and Alicia Dougherty and Samantha, okay, and Life 360. All of these children who have no say in this, who cannot say yes or no to this, are signed to a lifetime 20% contract with Jean Bortnick, allegedly, because they're still under contract. So if the 3 years is up, they're probably under a new 3-year contract or whatever. Why would this woman stick with this guy when everybody else got out of their contract? What is going on? Samantha and Alicia are still with Sun and Sky Entertainment, and they didn't have to be. They could have signed the NDA and got away with it. But all of her children allegedly, are signed with this criminal. You have kids who cannot give informed consent, signed with a criminal, a money laundering criminal who literally is a money criminal. You're signed your children on with this guy. This is why Alicia sent me the cease and desist letter. Not even the thing I'm going to talk about in a second. This. Because Bortnick probably hired this lawyer to send me the cease and desist letter. You know, the lawyer with the potato picture? The one that they're going to sue me? Like, let's go. Because it's stuff is so easy to find on the internet. It's crazy that Alicia thought that she was just going to get away with all this. Knowing that this guy's a criminal, we all know this, and it was easy for me to find it. A bunch of my followers found this in seconds when they heard his name, okay? Why would Alicia not do any due diligence of the people that she's signing her kids to be connected with? What is going on in that house? Who does she owe? What do people know? Who's being blackmailed? What is happening? Why did she convince all these other people to sign up too? What was the kickback? Like, this is not a criminal ring, but it's similar to like this multi-level marketing style thing where like, bring it on, I'll give you, 5% of their earnings or whatever. I don't know. Or nothing. Maybe he just knows something about her that she doesn't want the world to know, and he's willing to be a snake about it. Because if this guy's willing to swindle $22 million from people, what else is he capable of doing? Okay, so that's Gene Bortnick. That's a crazy deal of this channel. What you guys don't see behind the scenes, what you see in front of the scenes, that shit is all fake and calculated. But what goes on behind the scenes is even more calculated. Alicia has ripped off and ruined people's reputations and taken, and to some degree, taken some of their channels down, and has threatened people and has signed people up to predatory contracts with their children. Okay? This is crazy. And to what end? Money. It's always about fucking money. Money matters more than kids' privacy, than kids being bullied, than giving away everything about your children. These people care nothing more than money, or they wouldn't do what they do. That's all you need to know. Another thing that one of my anonymous sources brought to me was this idea that they honestly believe that Alicia is very racist. This is completely alleged. Now, I know this is a big statement to make, but I trust them when they say this because of what they told me. Now, very alleged. I said in my last video, I can't see her being racist because she's adopted children of color, right? Multiple times. Can you be racist that way? But what they said to me was like, look, just because you adopt children of color doesn't mean you can't be racist. And one of the big reasons they said that is because of the way the twins are treated on and off camera. If you go through all the comments, and if you have the time to do it, none of us do, but if you do, you will see this picture start to emerge about how the twins are treated differently. And she started seeing that too. She started being called out for it. And so what did she do? She gave them the birthday of their damn dreams. So she could be said, oh no, look, I'm not racist. I don't treat them differently. None of that. But it's not true. She did that so she could curtail the thing to say, look, I love these kids. I give them shit. Now the twins have been there for 7 to 8 years. And she, early when she do her budget, she's like, look at all the therapies they do and all this stuff. 7 to 8 years, and these kids have not gotten better whatsoever. One of these kids, according to multiple sources who have been in the home and have seen it themselves, is or was strapped down when they slept because they were flight risks. Maybe getting into things, running outside, getting into food, whatever. Doing craziness. I don't know. I don't have a kid who does that. Okay? Now, I didn't give much credence to this because I'm like, hey, maybe it happens. But here's what matters. One of my followers wrote this, and they said, you know what's super dangerous about tying your children down to sleep? Is what if there's a fire, an emergency, okay? You've got 12 kids to watch out for. If there's a panic and emergency, that kid has less of a chance to get up and get out. That is really dangerous. Needless to say, the locks on the doors. There are locks on the doors. Maybe not all of them, but there are locks on the doors. So if this is true, that multiple people inside the home who have been there have seen the restraints, what the is she doing? And in this picture, I'll show it to you. You can see a picture of the restraint. This is what they think it is a restraint. Now, you can see it's obviously a blurry shot because she was moving the camera and someone had to screenshot it. This is someone who's very invested in looking for what they were looking for, okay? So as you can see here, you see this little plastic part here and the string stuff. This is important to see. Now, this is not definitive, but I've had multiple sources in the house say this happens. So until we can find more definitive proof, I have to say allegedly. But this is what that person who saw it thought it was. Okay? Simpson Jr. arm restraints. As you can see the little plastic parts here, that's like a double layer thing. If you go back to that picture, that's what this is. That's what they think. Anyway, that's alleged. So is Alicia literally strapping down, tying down one of her black children? And if that's the case, why? And again, go back to the therapy and everything that these kids say that they're getting. There's no possible way that Alicia can build bonds with her children, even if she wasn't on social media. 12 children? Most of them have special needs? No, because Alicia spends all of her time on the internet making bundles of cash. There's no possible way, no way, unless it's the nannies, which we know she has and doesn't talk about because she wants you to think that she does it all on her own, like she's a super mom. But even my inside sources know that there's nannies. They come and go, by the way, just so you're aware. They come and go. You hear what I said there? So the people that went in and did see the strapping mechanisms were like heartbroken. They didn't want to say anything, but they were literally, one of them said they were in tears when they left. That's how much it affected them. The comments about the racism and stuff like that, not just strapping down your kids and all that kind of stuff, but it really does lead to the behavior that you see, how she treats specific children. Now, I know that's a big allegation. It's really what my inside sources have seen and heard from her specifically about how she talks about them. And she used these kids, and there are videos, and I'll show you them when I do a deep dive into each of the stories of the children, okay? Like each of the stories, the way that she tells it. Where she's using them about like he was burnt and her parents treated them badly. And she used them from the day one for their stories. Like the most disgusting thing you have ever seen. Even more disgusting than Micah. She used these kids and their super traumatic stories to tell the world so she could get paid. Don't miss it. It is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. And this gets me so mad because those kids too came from trauma, can't have privacy, and are now locked into a contract with a criminal. All for money. Gus sees that I'm mad. He wants to kiss me. Are you okay? I'm okay. I promise. I'm sorry, that really hits me because I grew up in a traumatic childhood. And I'm glad that I didn't have it out there for the world to see. You know, I could tell it as an adult. It's my choice to tell it. But that's my choice, right? And I did tell my story. And it was very therapeutic. And it probably helps some people. But that's not Alicia's choice to make for her kids. If they want to tell their story later, fine. But that's not her choice to make. These kids don't get a choice. We also talk about the locks in the fridge and the cabinets and everything else, but she's already explained it all. Is that one of her kids used to go in the fridge or something. They're not locked all the time. I guess their beer fridges are locked or something. I don't know. I don't care. She's a disgusting idiot. From what we've uncovered at this point, the locks in the fridge and cupboards are the least of our worries. All that comes up to this idea of Deshawn and Nevaeh. What is going on with Deshawn and Nevaeh? This is a kinship placement, which I've learned since that can be friends, can be family. Doesn't necessarily always have to be family, so I get that. A kinship is a placement that's not foster. It's a voluntary placement where you're like, don't put them in foster care system, I'll take them temporarily. And there was a lot of videos apparently on her of him bashing their parents about how she's just going to sell your shit or she sold all your stuff. And this woman does this. She low level, underhandedly throws these kids' parents under the bus all the time. Look at the picture of the kids with the countdown chain of their dad getting out of jail. Who does that? Okay? This woman is, never forget, calculated. Everything you see is on purpose. It is not being like, whoops, I didn't know it would be like that. No. She absolutely knew that you'd be talking about it and it would bring more followers because people are like, what am I watching? Who does this? She does it on purpose. So Nevaeh and Deshawn get into the picture. They have some of the highest engagement on this channel. Nevaeh specifically. Let me tell you why. You know why. Because predators are watching. And she's a 14-year-old girl who dresses like, I guess, most 14-year-old girls. But she does it online. Okay? She wears lingerie, and Alicia shows it all. Remember the Halloween? She's like, why you gotta dress like an adult? And then she shows Nevaeh. That's a calculated decision that she made. She knew she was gonna get hate for that video. She knows she's gonna get hate for a video when her kids throw a football through a TV. Calculated. Everything this woman does. She's Yzma, right? The poison specifically made to kill Cusco. So this is what happened. This is the beginning. If you want to know why she does what she does, look no further than this video. Get ready to be pissed.
Everyone, it's Alicia with the Dougherty Dozen. I'm about to head into the courthouse to have the court hearing on the 2 kiddos in foster care.
Kiddos. Also, I need to let you know, she deleted this off TikTok, but she didn't delete it off her, what's it called? The freaking Pinterest one. So thanks.
And where they're going to place them, if they're coming home with me, or if they have a different placement for them. I will let you know.
What an asshole.
Okay, I was granted custody of the kids. I have to pick them up.
So I think the mother voluntarily gave them up. And the court said, okay, yeah, sounds good. Go ahead. But here's the thing. Did they not do any due diligence about who these people really are? Because even these foster places that she works with now, adoption agencies, do they know that these kids are signed to a long-term contract with a criminal? Be interesting to find out, wouldn't it?
I know a lot of people don't understand or agree with my decision to do this, and that's okay.
Why would people disagree with this?
One of my driving scriptures in life is, I will not leave you as orphans, I will come to you. John 14:18. And
This idiot is quoting scripture. She's quoting scripture in defense of the exploitation of fostered kids. You cannot make this up. Don't make me bring the pastor out, because I'll bring the pastor out. You really want to be rebuked there? You're really going to quote scripture for the exploitation of children.
And what this court hearing showed me is, while we don't use the word orphans here in the United States, that's essentially what's happened here to a 12 and 13-year-old. And I won't leave them. I will go to them.
Look how amazing I am. I will not leave them. I will not do any. Me. I'm the best white savior on earth. I'm not going to leave them. Da-da. She basically threw the parents under the bus there, by the way. That's what happened there. But then watch. The moment these kids step into her house.
Our home.
This is like a unboxing. This is like a tech reveal. This is like, hey, revealing the stuff we got. They reveal the children. As if, look at our channel. They reveal them. You don't need to see anything else. They reveal them. Now, when you watch something like that, what you need to realize is most people, oh, she's such a saint for doing this. And some people would even say that not being in the system and with this, even if they are exploited, is better. Now, it's a hard argument to make against, because being in the system is not for anybody. But it's also not good. So it's not like you're taking the kids out of a bad situation, putting them in a good situation. You're taking them out of a shitty situation, putting them in a shitty situation. Specifically one that lasts forever. The internet is forever. Like I brought up her blog that was written like 15 years ago. That shit is forever. She tried to delete it. It still exists. Like this picture of her hair. Okay? It still exists. It's not going anywhere. Now, I can continue. There are a lot more, and I'm still talking to sources. But this is the thing that I was talking to you guys about that was going to come forward eventually. Now, I know all this is allegations. I can't give you definitive proof of it all. Some of it, especially the picture of the ties and the straps and stuff, it's not definitive. I know a lot of people could say, well, it could be anything. And I get that. I understand that. But I choose to trust my sources. Am I being naive? I don't think so. I hope not. Are people after her because she's ruined some of their careers and their lives? Possibly. But Alicia burned bridges and took things from people that didn't belong to her. She also exploits children in so many ways. It hurts me. We had been talking about this for 2.5 years on this channel. And to get to the level where we're at right now, where people are reaching out to me specifically for their stories, I appreciate it and I value it. But it really hurts me every time we see this, and it just feels like it's getting worse sometimes. It's not, but it feels like it is. Because most family vloggers are kind of on the outs. Their channel views are down, and it is. But TikTok, like, re-emerged this bullshit, like, with a fervor. And so, I might not be a person who's considered a Republican. I'm very libertarian, okay? Very down the center. But I hope there's a red wave unlike anything ever before, just to get TikTok removed. TikTok is literally responsible for so much child exploitation, and it's the Wild West of unchecked kids on there. And if you report it, oh, we don't care. It's not a violation. But if I call it out, or someone else like Uncharted, like Mom Uncharted calls it out, and these people, they get banned for calling it out. I cannot wait to see karma or justice or whatever it is dealt to these people. And I'm sure it's going to take years and years and years. As soon as lawmakers get in and start making the rules for this, it's going to change, and I hope it does for the better. These kids deserve better. There's people who make comments like, these kids have food insecurities, and so they have to have this stuff. That's a bullshit lie, and you know it. I had food insecurities. I got fat because all I could eat was garbage. But if I had someone lovingly showing me how to make good choices, you know, making an abundance of healthy snacks available, I probably wouldn't have been 315 pounds by the time I was 35. It's my fault. I made those choices. But Alicia could easily provide for these children an abundance of healthy, delicious, amazing, expensive snacks. Right? A lot of people would also say, like, you know, they get things. That's not going to help them in the long run, everybody. She says she brings these people in because they don't want to be alone, but they're alone in that house. She doesn't parent them. She's on the internet 24 hours a day. She doesn't parent them. They're basically alone in a house full of shit. It's not good. And so that's why I call her out. Do I get paid for doing it? You're damn right I do. I'm not sorry for it. This is one of the most polarizing topics on the internet right now. And when I started it, it was hardly even talked about. Very, very rarely. Micah Stauffer started this whole thing. And I'm hoping it ends with Alicia Dougherty. I'm hoping it ends with the laws being put in place to say, no more of this shit. No more exploiting children. No more. If your children, even if you have to go with like 13, fine. Okay, even though I think that's stupid. No more birthing on the internet. No more breastfeeding your child till they're 7 or 8 years old on the internet and showing your boobs like that. I know breastfeeding's beautiful and it's great, but you know that's not why they do it. You know that you've got all these OnlyFans creators out there right now, right? Talking about how they do pregnancy stuff because it makes them more money, because fetishes. You know that's why they do it. You know that's why she puts Neve on here. She gets more of that shit. She's calculated. These people are calculated. No more of this shit. People need to start waking up. If you have any information that I should know about Dougherty Dozen or any other family vlogger, insider information that you want to be whistleblow, I am your platform. I will not give away my anonymous sources. Even if family vloggers reach out to me and have conversations with me, and they don't want me to say that we're talking, I won't tell you. Okay, I would love to keep my integrity on that. I think that's one of the things that separates me from other people like shiny clowns. But I promise you this, Alicia, and I'm saying this right now, everybody document this in your heads, right? Put it right there. I am keeping track of everybody's view counts and growth rates and everything of the people that I'm talking about. If you decide you're going to go after any of these people, we're watching you. And if something happens to these channels because you, Gene, or Samantha decided you wanted to get payback, we're watching. And there are way more receipts than you think you know that will come out. If you give people no reason to care anymore, just try it. Keep your shit to yourself. Stop attacking other creators, Alicia. You too, Samantha, and you too, Gene. Okay? Stop it. It's all coming to light. So, thank you, Reddit, for being here and for growing really fast and bringing up all the stuff that I don't have time to find. Thank you to my people that are looking through the videos. This is just getting started. 1,250 videos we're scrubbing through right now. And we've only done a half day, and there's already a page this fucking long about some shit that we found. Half day. And she's deleted stuff since then too. So it is my mission on the Dad Challenge podcast to protect children, to give them a voice they don't have, to stop the exploitation of children on social media. I will not stop ever until you stop. And my promise remains, even though I hate you so much. Get your kids off, and I will stop talking about you. Take everything down that you've talked about, and I'll erase everything I've put on the internet about you. It will always stand. Ball's in your court. Get wrecked. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.